Hey, what's going on, guys? Me, Jedi. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at Jill Biden. Not Joe Biden, but Jill Biden. Alright. So Jill Biden is basically the wife of Joe Biden. And of course, when Joe Biden was running, he said Joe Biden will give a speech. So when Jill is giving a speech, Jill decided to go give the speech, not in front of a million people, but in her classroom that she once taught. And this was at the DNC, day 3. So let's go. Alright. So day 3 of the DNC convention, the Democratic National Convention, basically what ended up happening was Jill, who's Joe's husband, or Joe's wife, decided to say that she really supports Biden. Wow, no brainer, right? Of course we expected that. But she basically just said that Biden's a really good fit. And one thing that really stood out from Jill's speech from all the other people, including Michelle Obama, who took straight shots at Trump. Pretty much they all took shots at Trump. And of course, Jill also took some shots at Trump. But one thing she didn't do is she never mentioned Trump. So she never exactly directly mentioned him. Of course, she talked about, the Republican Party or Republican figure or the man in the White House. But she never really said Trump is a bad guy. So she was pretty indirect. So of course, I would say she has better speaking qualities than Joe. But of course, Jill was at the school where she taught at. And she was able to really talk about the anxiety and things that the students are going through. And she said that opening schools now would be a bad idea, because if we do open schools, then the virus is going to spread a lot. So, of course, she's not for the virus. She's not for anything that President Trump is doing in that part. But she does believe in her husband. She thinks her husband is going to make a really good choice. And of course, she will be voting for her husband, and she thinks you should too. But that's just up for interpretation. Now let's go to the Republican side, where of course all the fun starts. Well, of course, Fox News, of course, had to rip her apart. They're basically talking about how, well, of course, you're his wife. You will have to say things that will abide by him. And of course, Jill tried her best to keep that away, but at the end of the day, that didn't turn out too well. So this was kind of like a precursor. She was kind of just throwing up her husband, saying, all right, guys, vote Joe. And then, she's kind of just like, kind of cushioning his pathway. That way, when he comes on there and gives us the perfect speech that we all needed to hear, when he gave that speech, everything was gone. And that is the speech we're going to be looking at tomorrow. And her speech is basically like a little cushion for him, just kind of clearing up the path. So nothing too great from her. But tomorrow's video, guys, will be on the man himself, Joe Biden. So when Joe Biden gave his speech, everything was wild. And that is what we're going to be looking at tomorrow. Until then, make sure you guys like this video, share it with all your friends, and tomorrow will be the last video on the DNC. After that, we will dive into other topics, but make sure you guys stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow.